So I'm here with my appetizer for dinner tonight. Did you know that squash plants have male flowers and female flowers? And you might kind of need to know which ones are which, so then you can hand pollinate them if you need to, because you're not getting any pollinators through your garden when you need them. Yeah, it's not quite as easy as you thought, huh? Let's help you out with that. So this is a fantastic example of a round zucchini plant, and it has nothing but male flowers right now. And you can tell that they're male flowers because they're all long skinny stems. I'll show you what a female flower looks like next. So right here is a great example of a female flower right here. It hasn't gotten to the full-fledged flower part yet, but you can see the fruit back here. That's your number one clue that this is a female flower that's going to happen here. And this guy right here, this is our boy flower, okay, male flower here. It's all big and showy, okay. And what you can do is hand pollinate this, because there's such a short window that you need a pollinator to come through and actually pollinate this. So if you catch this open, take advantage of having all the male flowers around here and grab a little bit of the pollen out of the flower with like a Q-tip or a paintbrush, and then you go in and paint this flower, and then you will pollinate your zucchini and you're good to go. Now usually what happens is that you will have a plethora of male flowers on your squash plants, which in the grand scheme of the world of nature, that's pretty normal to have a whole bunch of extra boys floating around to take care of the few female flowers that you actually do get. There's a few things you can do with those male squash after you've pollinated the female flowers that you found on your plants. You can eat them. Okay, so here's a nice male flower. It actually fell off when I was reaching around digging into the plant. It happens, but you can just open this up, remove the little bit of stamen inside, because you don't need to eat it, and shake it out of any sometimes there's ants in there. I mean, it's part of organic gardening, but you can stuff it full of cream cheese, goat cheese, make up a mix, put herbs into your cheese blend. You stuff it on in there. You can batter it and then fry it. You can mix in herbs. You can put basil in it. You can do oregano. You can put lime zest in it. Okay, there's so many things that you can do. You can actually use these. You can make a soup out of these. You can rip them up and use them as garnish on an Italian dish, or like a pasta dish, or maybe something with squash. I mean, that would just be fitting. But there's so many things that you can actually do with these cute little squash blossoms. And if you don't have enough, like me, I have like 4 flowers right now, and I would really like to have some squash blossom, something like squash blossom fritters. I can go to like farmers markets and they sell them there. You probably won't find squash blossoms in like a grocery store, but you can certainly find them at a place where your local farmers will go. Or if you have a Facebook group, like around here we have a local city gardening sort of group, and a lot of people will post that they have extra peas or extra tomatoes or things like that, and then you can trade or buy or do things like that. I'll bet you that's a great way to find squash blossoms if you're really interested in getting a lot of those. So try that out. Here's a recap, okay? Squash blossoms, number one, are edible and they're delicious, okay? So don't be scared to try these suckers out. They're pretty darn tasty. Male flowers on a long skinny stem. They come up outside of the plant saying to the bees, "Hi, I'm here, come pollinate me," okay? They're getting the bees and the other pollinators used to the fact that now suddenly there's a buffet here, okay? Female flowers are gonna show up a little bit later. They're gonna be more compact, more inside the plant to be protected, okay? You'll know they're females because they've got a tiny little miniature fruit, okay, right at the base of the flower. It's really cool. So do you need to hand pollinate? No, of course not. The squash have got along just fine without somebody always pollinating the squash plant, okay? There's no farmer out there that's probably gonna go out and pollinate his acres of squash plants, okay? You'll be okay. Now, why would you do this? If you're a gardener and you're crazy like the rest of us, yes, you will be out there with a paintbrush or a Q-tip. If you want to maximize your harvest for the year, you'll probably try this out. Um, if you fight squash bugs, I do, and I will probably be out here with a paintbrush or a Q-tip. All right, normally in my harvest of zucchini and yellow squash, I'm lucky if I get 2 zucchinis out of my plants before the squash bugs take them out. So I'm interested in getting mine pollinated as quickly as possible so I can get some squash out of my plants before the squash bugs kill them. So maybe you've got another reason that you would want to hand pollinate. Maybe it's just a fun experiment for you. I mean, absolutely go for it. Get your kids out there. I mean, I think they'd get a kick out of dipping a paintbrush or a Q-tip into the male flowers and taking it over to the female flower. They can impregnate the squash plant. I mean, what a great botany lesson for them. But don't put too much pressure on yourself. You don't need to be out here hand pollinating unless you have got other reasons to do so. So just relax, have fun. It's gardening. It's a great big experiment. And now you are well equipped to go out, know which flowers are which and what to do with them. If you've got too many male flowers, take them in for dinner, honestly. They're great. And hopefully you will have a bountiful dinner of squash in your future.